Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to part 24 of the Sea of Stars walkthrough. Let's get right into Estrastay's Lookout. From the entrance, we'll go to the left side and we'll pick up a broken handle. That's another thing that we can give to Teeks for a story. And then we're going to run up the stairs on the right side till we get to the top and we get a cutscene. We made it! Is this the release mechanism? Racketeer.
Bist, is there another way?
Step aside. Way to go, Bist.
Did it work?
Yes, the Speedball Travel Network should be online now. From here, we can fast travel to any of the other stations, including the one in Skybase. Man, those things are fast! Hey, Teeks. Hey, how's it going? We're making progress, but we just lost Rashan. What? I can see him right there. It's just an empty puppet. The real him is gone. Kind of creepy, kind of cool. Oh, hello there. That's living glass. Nice to meet you. I'm Teeks. Greetings. My name is Bist. Hey, so I was exploring near a pine and the speedball thing just opened up. Was it your doing?
Bist brought power back. We can use it to get to Skybase.
Oh, I'll tag along then. I gotta see that. Let's head on over toward the right and interact with the speedball to travel straight to Skybase.
Skybase, we made it.
What are we looking for?
Whatever will stop the clouds being produced. There has to be a control room somewhere. And if we find that damned catalyst...
You got it. Alright, welcome to Skybase. We're going to start by going out the top right exit and then down the long hallway. When you get into the next room, if you're very quick with the grapploo, you can attack this enemy. Otherwise, there'll be a little bit of a cutscene where the alarm goes off and it will engage the fight for you. But we'll get a head start on this one with the grapploo. So this guy is called Yinky, and what it really is a machine that will attack 3 times with its normal attack. And if it does its charge attack, then it will attack 1 target. That spin attack will damage everyone nearby, so if your characters are close together, it will damage everyone nearby it. So we definitely don't want that. We'll try to take it out as quickly as possible, but make sure that you try to time it properly to get all of those 3 blocks in. But altogether, it's not a very difficult fight. We can do a lot of damage to them. And when the fight's over, we're going to run toward the right side. You can head down into this room for a campfire and a save point if you want to do that. Otherwise, head over toward the right side. This room has a bit of a puzzle. There are these floating gray blocks in the middle, and they are controlled using the switches on the left side. This one brings it closer to the camera. This one switches which block you're controlling, and this one pushes it closer to that far wall. So if we push that one, then it will move against the wall. We'll use the switch in the middle to change it to the next block. And when it gets all the way against that wall, we can run over and grab this rainbow conch. Now what we want to do is head back over, and we want to adjust it so that we're now going to control the 3rd block. And we need to line it up with the space in that little hallway between it that will allow us to jump across the gap. Now we're just going to go and align the 1st and the 2nd block to the opening on this side of the big gap, and that will allow us to hop over, then go up that little hallway, and then across the gap again. So that's really all you have to do there, a pretty easy little puzzle. And when you go into the next room, there is a fight against another one of those Yinky enemies, and Matsukun Claw. Those guys also aren't very difficult. They just want to charge up and use a little orb attack on you. Not a very difficult fight at all. The normal attack for those guys is they'll just run at you and then kind of jump up and hit you. You've seen other enemies that kind of behave this way too, where they kind of jump up and try to hit you with their top. In fact, one of the first enemies in the whole game behaved that way. So you should be pretty well accustomed to that type of enemy at this point. Now we're just going to finish them all off and then proceed on. After the fight, let's go up and we will interact with the console at the top. This whole room will move to the next area. So all you have to do is wait around until it docks at the next location, and then we're going to go out the same door that we came into, but we'll be in a different hallway this time. So we'll run toward the end of the hallway. We can hit this switch to open up a little bridge that will take us across the gap. And now we can run down, and if we want to, we can touch one of these laser targets on the ground. And we're going to have to fight another one of those drones and horse mechs that we fought a lot of in the derelict factory. So let's take them out. And now we're going to go toward the north end of the room, and we will interact with the computer up here, and that will activate a giant elevator that comes down, and that can take us to the next floor of Skybase. We also get the teleporter pad that lights up, so let's go and step on the teleporter, and that will bring us back down to this entry area. The elevator is now online, but if you want to, you can go down to the bottom part of this room. This is where the campfire and the save point is, so feel free to use that after those fights if you just want to rest up before moving on to the next floor of Skybase. So after we rested up, we're going to go straight north and interact with the console inside the elevator, and that will take us up to the next floor. Alright, from here we're just going to head south into the next hallway, and we're now up in space, kind of a cool background as we run around through here. and we're going to go over toward the left side. We ultimately have to get through this door, but to do that, let's go and interact with this console. West Wing sustained heavy damage after collision with an asteroid. Area in lockdown for crew's safety.
Override.
Denied. Emergency measures may not be overridden.
Let's keep going.
Man, I like her style. Well, we'll go through that hallway. We have to hop across some gaps and go up the climbing wall to the left side. And then we have to climb up and use the tightrope to walk across the gap. From here, use the climbing wall to get to the bottom part, and then go through the doors where we have another fight. Unfortunately, we can't do a preemptive attack on these guys, but it is a scripted attack against a couple of those same claw enemies that we fought before. Let's finish them off and keep going. Let's head through the door on our left, and that will take us to a weird little hallway where we have to step on this platform and then grapple the target. That's going to raise up a bridge to get across to the other side. Then we want to do kind of the same thing where we're going to jump across the gap, and then we'll grapple the bottom or the leftmost targets, and that will cause the bridge to come up on this side so that we can go across. And now we'll go through the door. The teleport pad isn't ready yet, so what we want to do is grapple across the gap and then hit the switch. The console is now back online and the teleporter is ready, but we're not going to do that yet. Instead, we're going to go over toward the right side, walking across the beam, and then grapple the other direction toward the top left corner, where there are two treasure chests containing a spark mesh cape and a rosewood cork. Both of those belong on Rashan, so go ahead and equip the new weapon and armor. And then what we can do is to hit the switch to move the grapple point over closer, and now we can teleport back to the main area. If you want to go ahead and fight this battle, again, it's just a single drone and the horse mech. We'll take them out, and then we will proceed up and interact with the console on the right side. North wing pressure stabilized. Access granted. And now we can go through the doors toward the north. The room up top here contains a pretty easy puzzle. This console in the middle will change which blocks are raised or lowered, and then what we want to do is go over toward the left side and pop up the battery on that side, and also do the same thing on the right side. Then just hop up and push the battery over, and now we're going to go toward the top part of this area, and we're going to push it down, and then left, and then up, and then right, and finally up. So that one's in place. And now we have to do kind of the same thing, but in reverse. So hit that console to switch the different platforms around, then push the battery down, and then push it toward the bottom, over toward the right, up, left, and finally up. That's going to power up the doors and break the lock at the top. So now we can go up through that doorway. Now that we're up here, we're going to go over toward the left side. There's going to be a treasure chest over here containing music sheet number 7, and there's a save point. Go ahead and use that if you want to. And now let's go through the doorway on the left side. We're going to go down the hallway, and when we get to the other side, we'll go through the doors, and we have yet another fight against another Yinky and a claw enemy. Let's take these guys out pretty quickly too, and then we just have to go up and touch the console at the top, which will move this whole platform to a new location. Now let's go through the doors and down the hallway. In the room at the end, make sure you go to the right side. There's a treasure chest up here that contains question pack number 8. Once you have that, then go interact with the console by the elevator, and that will allow you to go up and into it, and that will raise you up another floor. Once you make it to the top, go to the console at the top of the room, interact with it, and that's going to lower another elevator down to the entrance of the second floor, and it also turns on the teleport pad on the right side. So let's use that to teleport ourselves back to the entrance to the second floor, and at that time the elevator will finally come all the way down. We can go into it, interact with it, and that will take us up to the third floor. The third floor is pretty interesting because it's basically one big moving platform. We're in the middle section right now, and there's going to be a little fight against a couple of those drones and one of the claw enemies. Let's take them out, and then we will continue on in this area. So we're in the middle of this place. If we go to the right side and interact with the console, this whole thing is going to shift over toward the right, and we're going to be in a new section. Let's go through the north doors, down the short hallway, and there's going to be another fight in this room with 2 of the Yankee enemies and 1 drone. Let's take them out, and then we're going to go to the top left corner where there's the treasure chest waiting for us. When we open that up, we get the plasma daggers. This is a really good weapon upgrade for Sarai, so go ahead and throw those on. And then we're going to interact with the console at the top. What that's going to do is activate the ability to move that platform over toward the left side. So we're all the way on the right now. We're going to interact with it 1 time to bring us back toward the center of the area. And then as soon as we stop, we'll interact with it again to move over toward the left side of the area. Once we stop, we'll go up through the north doors, and there's going to be a room with a campsite and a save point, but there's also a 3D printing vending machine at the top. So what we want to do is to go ahead and sell off everything that we have that we're not using. We're going to get rid of all of our treasures, we're going to get rid of all of our old equipment, all of our old armor and weapons, and that will give us a good chunk of money, because then what we want to do is to buy a lot of stuff that this place is selling. So once we've gotten rid of everything that we don't need, let's go over to the buy category. There's going to be a spark mesh armor that we can give to one of our solstice warriors who didn't get it before. There's also a spark mesh cape that we can give to either Rashan or Sarai who didn't get it before. And there's also the recipe for the Surf and Turf Tataki. Let's make sure that we buy that recipe as well. And then of course we can go ahead and use the save point, use the campfire to rest, and then we'll be ready to go up through the north doors, and we'll be encountering a boss very soon. So once you're ready, let's go up through the north doors and get a little cutscene and the boss fight.
Over there! It's... the catalyst!
Intruders in the command center. Engaging combat mode.
Ready, Zale? You bet. Alright, time to fight the Catalyst. There are different waves of this fight, and we're blocked by these walls that have these turrets on them. And what you want to think of this fight as is all the different turrets, they have armor on the outside that you have to break through, and then you can destroy the machine inside of it. And we're going to just focus on taking these things out as quickly as possible, so feel free to use skills, and that will allow you to target multiple enemies at once to break their armor on the outside, and then hit them again really fast to break the machine inside. It doesn't have a ton of HP, so it should be pretty fun just to wreck these machines going forward. And once you destroy them, then we will proceed on, and we'll go from this first room, which just has the 2 machines, and then the next one will have a couple more that we have to deal with. So after we destroy the first wall, let's run in Contra style, and we're going to fight off now 4 machines. So let's go ahead and use some skills like our dash strike to do lots of damage to all of the machines across. And we can do things like Venom Flurry or, any of the other skills that you have that can really target multiple enemies. It's a good thing to use things like Moonerang, where you can attack multiple enemies all at once. And we're just going to work our way through this wall as well before we move on to the last room, where we'll have 6 machines to contend with and the catalyst itself. Okay, once these 4 machines are gone, that wall is destroyed, and now we can move on to the final section where we have 6 machines as well as the catalyst. Now the catalyst itself we cannot damage until all 6 machines on the sides are broken down. So we're going to do the same thing, focusing on eliminating these things as quickly as possible. We can use things like dash strike, or if you've got combo, you can use X strike. And you're just going to try to eliminate these enemies as quickly as possible. All the while, we should do pretty well at gaining a lot of our ultimate meter, but we're going to save that until the catalyst itself becomes vulnerable once all 6 machines are destroyed. So let's go ahead and finish these guys off, and then we will see when the catalyst becomes available. We'll start to attack that one with as much fury as we can manage. Now, if you don't happen to defeat the catalyst before its timer runs out, it will actually bring back the 6 machines, and you'll have to cycle through it again. Luckily, the catalyst does not have a whole lot of HP, so if you're very tactical about that and hit it really hard, you should be able to defeat it in just one cycle, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like. So let's go ahead and finish off these remaining machines, and then we will engage the catalyst directly. Okay, all 6 machines are down. The catalyst is now vulnerable, so we get to attack it directly. We've got 3 turns on the clock, so we have to make the most of this. What we want to do is to use something really strong like Moon Shiv. We'll go ahead and fight this. We also now have a full combo meter, so we'll be using that after this. So Moon Shiv, we did 267 damage on that one. Still 2 turns to go. We want to use one of the ultimate attacks. It doesn't really matter whose you use, but I'm just going to use Bist's because I think it's really fun. So let's go ahead, swap Bist into the fight, and we will use his ultimate to do some pretty serious damage to the catalyst. Alright, another 275 damage for that. We've got 1 turn to go. We will use Disorient to buy us a little bit more time. We can use something just like Crescent Arc to do some pretty decent damage as a single attack skill. And we've got 1 turn left. We're just going to disorient it for the win. So all in all, that was right about 800 damage is what it takes in order to defeat the Catalyst. Sari, are you okay?
I remember now. Soul Curator.
Huh? What happened?
It doesn't matter right now. Let's check the control module. This has to be what's creating the clouds, but I've never seen anything so intricate. Cedric, tell me you've got something. Scanning. Negative. Encryption level too high. I can't use this! Best?
Apologies, Sari. My people were builders and magicians. The wonders of technology are a mystery to me.
We were so close!
I beg your pardon. A word, if I may.
Hey, look over here.
The Catalyst is still alive?
Please, one moment. I am not evil. I was forced to operate within the Catalyst against my will. And I must say I had quite an awful time of it.
Can you help stop the clouds?
Believe me, I wish I could. But alas, the only function I have access to is the one used to attach souls to machines. My databank does contain plenty of schematics related to Skybase, however.
Can you give them to us?
I'm afraid everything is encrypted. Access is virtually impossible.
Oh yeah? I wonder if I just... Haha, it worked? So just a bunch of documentation and intricate designs. There's nothing in here about operating the console directly.
Tech-savvy engineers may infer core function based on blueprints and schematics. Recommended action: find someone smarter.
Hey, how about Kyle and his friends at the Clockwork Castle? They're pretty good at this kind of stuff, right? Worth a shot.
It's a lead. Maybe they can hack into the AI core too. You're coming with us.
Please be gentle.
Okay, time to return to our homeworld for a bit.
The entrance to the Sea of Stars is to the southeast of the Sacrosanct Spires.
There's a speedball station close to it too. Let us make haste. Alright, good stuff. All that's left is to head south, and when we get into the next room, the teleport pad will illuminate. So what we can do is rest at the campsite if you want to. Otherwise, we will step on the teleport pad, leading us back to the entrance with the speedball. If we talk to it, we can go to the Sea of Stars entrance. When you arrive, make sure you go over toward the left side. There's a treasure chest in the corner, and that's going to contain 1 data strip. Now we just have to leave this way, and we will head out the southern exit. And if we go down onto the dock, we can hop aboard the Vespertine, and then it's just a very short trip south into the giant whirlpool that will take us to the home world. Our next destination is just a little bit toward our east. We're going back to Mesa Island, so let's sail over there until we can make landfall, and then we'll go up using the shortcut on the right side back to the Clockwork Castle. But I am going to cover that in another video, so that's the end of this one. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you soon in part 25. Until then, have a good day.